Yo, what's up, people? It's Sammy Chucks here, founder of Hck4G and the Link Group. And you are watching Nerd Night episode 64.
It's great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you for coming in here. Guys, we do have some really nice gem for you all. So thank you for joining the show. I am looking forward to sort of working with you guys, chatting with you guys, learning with you guys, and having an awesome content with you guys. So it is going to be epic, guys. I almost did not stream today because there's been so much going on with the planning and execution and all of the work that the team and I have been doing with regards to Hck4G Con and CTF 2025, Hack of No Nation. So if you already are aware of what is happening in that area of things, then you probably need me to give you no introduction. You already know what we're about here at the CyLynk.com. You already know what we're doing here also at Hck4G. You already know what Semi the Boy is all about, right? I don't know. What name do I call myself? I am the chief, the director. I don't know. Seriously. Oh, wait, there you go. I am the son of Yoda. Alright, guys, look, thank you so much for joining the stream and literally wanting to help, defund, sabotage all of these things and help them have the young people to make that decision. Look, so I'm not ready to grab a cup of tea or coffee, or if you're into water, grab a nice H2O and jump in, buckling on your seat. The stream today is going to be going from, we're going to be doing the usual, just, have a random chat. Let me tell you guys, right, about how my day's been going to briefing. I call it, therapy time. Having some good therapy time, and then we move from that to threat landscape. What is going on in the internet, right? Guys, the threat landscape, actors are doing. If there's any new vulnerability that is going on, we want to find out. And then we're going to go straight from there into the hands-on research, learning, right? Because the learning will be episode here at NerdKnight. And you guys know that we've been doing this now for the last couple of weeks. And the whole reason for that is because there's so much time to learn, right? And guys, we have some so grateful for this. Everyone has been incredibly amazing, right? I literally have no time to mention names, but Sanam, you know yourself. Peter Lake, you know yourself. Brett Williams, oh my God, you know yourself. Jeremy, yeah, you know yourself, man. There's a lot of incredible people. Incredible, amazing individuals. Hck4G and the Link Group. And let's go. The show begins. All right. Okay, I need to calm down, people. I absolutely need to calm down because it's going to be a packed, epic, and awesome event for you all. Guys, there's a lot of cool things that we're doing, and I kind of want to share all of that with you guys. But you know me, I got to take it easy, right? I got to calm down and make sure that you guys are indeed getting the value out of this. So this is why we cannot have a stream without a good, awesome, I don't know, dad joke, mom joke, African joke. I literally did not know where to start with that one. But anyways, you go figure. We are looking forward to the event on the 13th, 14th, and the 15th for the Hck4G Con. It is going to be, guys, when I say it's going to be amazing, you know me. Like, it is going to be genuinely amazing. So I am really, honestly looking forward to seeing, what the experts, cybersecurity experts, the highly esteemed cybersecurity experts, the panelists, and all of these incredible people are going to be bringing in on the day. So if you have not already bought your ticket, you would get the opportunity to get a free ticket today. Amazing, you know me. Also, it's going to be really honestly looking forward to seeing. You would also be able to get access to CTF page. I think the voice is a little bit low, so I just want to make sure that everything is good there. For those who are watching me online, just give me a second. Let me double check this. I think we might be having a little bit of a volume problem here. Just double checking. I think we should be good. If anyone is watching there, can you guys hear me? Yeah, I figured I'm very quiet. Yep, there's something not right here. Give me a second, people. Something not right. Okay, I just need to play with this. Give me. Well, I guess what did you guys guess? There's going to be pretty much troubleshooting at NerdKnight today, so it is going to be awesome. Why not? I think I might be having a little bit of an issue with my audio setup here. What is going on? All right, let's go to settings. The almighty set. Wait a minute, it's going to the wrong place. All right, guys, this is going to be cool. So I hope you guys are ready. Just give me a second. Let me quickly transition this to my face so you can see my face. So that. I think you guys can still see me. Well. There was always going to be some technical problems. Yeah, I'm just trying to fix that, Andre. Give me a second. Let me quickly fix that. I think I might be having some basic, I have no idea how to describe it, technical problem here. It's on stereo. Yep, it's in there. Let me double check something, guys. Give me a second. Well, whilst I'm doing that, I guess we could listen to some jam. We will be back, guys. How about now, guys? Can you hear me better? Hey guys, I've just increased the volume. Can you let me know if it is working better now? Hey guys, I've just increased the volume. Can you let me know if it is working better now? I can hear it now. Yep. Probably too, yep, too loud. How about now? How about now? Yep, I think I've just fixed it. Yep. For some reason, the computer decided to take in the sound system without increasing the volume. Basically, just took the volume to the very, very floor. Yikes. Well, that was definitely not part of the plan. Oh boy. All that nice, I don't know what to say, call it, intro that I gave, like literally gone. Oh boy. All right. I think it should be a lot better now because I've just reduced that. So I think we should be good. We should be good. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, if you've just tuned in, we just went through an episode of what will I call it? Troubleshooting IT Support 101 for free, absolutely 100% for free. So for some reason, the sound wasn't coming in as much as I wanted it to come out. So we've had to quickly fix that, and then we're back online. So guys, just to quickly recap, we are going to be going through, obviously, just an update on what's been happening, so you guys know what is actually happening on the back end. I'm super excited. A lot of people some people already know this. Those who are part of our job ready tracks, they often get insider information before anyone else does. So yeah, shout out to those who are obviously part of that program. You guys understand the reason why we have that. So we understand that a lot of people might not necessarily have the time. They need a bit of structured help and support to be able to break into cyber or get ahead in cybersecurity, right? It's all about the job ready skills. So we're going to go through me sharing with you guys what it is that we've been working on. And then from there, we are actually going to go into the threat landscape, see what's happening there in the interweb, or web inter, however you want to put it, or the bleeding edge of the threat landscape. All right, from there, and then we're going to really dive into learning something. So today, I figured the really important thing to learn is really learning how organizations like the big orgs use a piece of software called Fail2Ban to defend against SSH attack, right? So everyone knows what SSH is, right? If you don't know what SSH is, then you are in for a great time. I'm going to be talking through that. I'm going to be telling you guys what the default SSH port is, what SSH is used for, why it's widely used, and how great it is, but also some of the attack vectors that cyber criminals use against the application or the protocol called SSH. And then we're going to be doing research together, you and I, right? I had not done this before, so live, raw learning exercise where we're going to be doing research, trying to build something together, right? So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you are pumped and excited as I am. I've had my coffee and I've got my water here. So go grab yourself a glass. Oh yeah, there you go. I told you guys I'm excited. Go grab yourself a glass of water. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. Whatever you're into. Hey, Andre, shout out to you, man. You've got an incredible mug. I need to get myself a cool mug like Andre's. So, Andre, if you've got a picture of your mug or a link to it, put it in the comment section so that everyone can see how cool you are, my friend. Yeah, and that is very refreshing, people. So, yeah, guys, without any further ado,
Let's get started.
okay, cool. So, where do we start? Now, I think I've kind of given you guys a bit of an introduction of myself already. So for those who are already, used to this Nerd Night sessions and having fun with me every week, some weeks the energy is high. Other weeks I've got a code from my kids. Those who do not know, I've got 3 amazing, beautiful children. And somehow they go to school every single week and they come home with the blue tiny plague, right? Something I have no idea. Every single time they come home with either the flu, common cold, malaria, not malaria. I probably should be a little bit truthful. Of course, I'm exaggerating as well. But it's always a battle of trying to be healthy and trying to exercise and look after my health and get some sleep. But you guys know we're building something incredibly amazing and awesome and something that is worth every single day and every single night. And I want to shout out to all the incredible volunteers and support that we've had all through the last 1.5 years to 1 year. You know, CyLynk and the Link Group is just a year old. And I am so amazed to see a lot of the stuff we've already achieved. Some of the outcomes we've delivered for a lot of our learners already. A lot of them have already gotten jobs. Some of them are currently, you know, waiting to get some. But one thing is for sure that a lot of the guys that started out with us can guarantee that they've definitely gotten something out of the, you know, out of interacting with us, right? Because you guys know how we roll here at the Link Group. It is always gain an edge, right? Stand out, do something that everyone else is not doing, become the 1% out, right? So, you know, this is something that drives me. And obviously over the last couple of weeks, it's been hard. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's been really, really hard, especially because, you know me, I often like to go for big, you know, audacious dreams and goals, because I know that, you know, this is the only way to make the impact that we're trying to make in a lot of underserved communities and untapped regions, right? Like, guys, just to give you an example, the mission of CyLynk is to train and empower 10 million people by the year 2050, right? So that literally comes down to about 440,000 people, thereabout, give and take, per year, right? And we've got a lot of work to do to be able to hit that goal or that goal post. So I know that with your support, with your help, we are going to be able to achieve that. I know this is early days, and for a lot of you guys who have been part of our journey from the very beginning, right, when we didn't even have a proper YouTube live stream or any of that stuff, you know, you guys have kind of, you know, hung out with me and kind of continued to do this with me. I'm going to make my face a little bit bigger, so you guys can sort of see me a bit better and not, you know, get to see that stuff. I think that should do. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. I figure this is better for you guys to see my face. So basically, we've been planning for the CTF, planning for the conference. So for this particular conference and CTF, it's going to be pretty awesome. It's the very first one we're having with Hck4G. And basically, the idea here is to put up a conference that would encourage cross-collaboration from across different regions of the world and encourage young people to pick up, you know, a skill that would be able to give them an edge in life and encourage them to make better decisions and choose alternative pathways as opposed to doing cybercrime. And all through this journey with this mission, guys, I'm not going to kid you not. We've got partners from Romania. Shout out to you, Vlad, and your team, right? From Porn CTF. We have partners from Nigeria. Shout out to the Nigerian, you know, team that is still growing. We have partners from Ghana. Shout out to BRCTF and the OOSEC team. We also have partners in the US. You know, literally, we have partners with DEFCON. So, guys, DEFCON is sponsoring all the workshop that is going to be happening on the 15th of November for the conference. We also have partner with KC7 Cyber. You guys know KC7 Cyber. We've used them quite a lot here on our platform. Incredible journey that Simon and his team are doing. So we also have partners in places like the US, you know, that I've just mentioned. And we also have partners in other regions in India. We are growing that partnership as well. Here in Australia, obviously, Aussie, oi. We have incredible partners here across the place. And one incredible partner that I really want to shout out is CyDam. They've supported this mission from the very beginning, and they're an incredible group of people. So without any further ado, guys, so basically what I've been working to do is to deliver an incredible experience for every single person who's going to be there on the conference day or will be partaking for the CTF. So for this particular CTF, I'm going to show you guys what it's going to look like. If you have not already seen the page for the CTF, let me quickly shrink my face. All right, so I'm going to show you guys what the CTF looks like. So if we go to CTF.Hck4G, I have no idea what I'm typing, guys. There you go. A lot of you guys probably have already registered who are watching right now. If you have not already registered, go and register right now. And if you ask me, why should I register, Sammy? Why should I register? Well, this is why you should register. We have over $25,000 worth of prizes to be won from across the place, right? Well, it is a really weird, freezing day in Melbourne. It's been raining all day. Yes, internet stranger. It's a bit of a weird day, and which is ironic, right? Because literally just a couple of days ago, it was nice and sunny Melbourne day, and all of a sudden, it switched. So this is typically what Melbourne is like for anyone who's wanting to come to Melbourne. You know what? I like it. it kind of gives you, something to expect, something to look forward to, right? It's unpredictable, which is what life is like, right? So guys, go and register, form a team, and the countdown continues. In just over 4 days, the CTF is going to begin, and it's going to be played from multiple regions of the world, guys. We already have so many teams that are registered, so you can see the list just keeps going on. So if you have not already joined a team, go and join one right now so you can partake in that CTF. It is a beginner-friendly to intermediate-level CTF because we wanted to make sure that a lot of people can participate in this CTF, especially those who have never played one before. So this is completely free, guys. This is 100% free, so you don't have to pay anything to get access to the CTF. Just go and register. And of course, do not try to hack us, right? Because if you hack us, we're going to ban you. And I'm going to show you guys how we're doing that in the back end so you guys can see some of the stuff that we're doing. So shout out to everyone who's obviously supported the journey. And this is why it's been hard. It's been painful. But can I be honest with you guys? It is so worth it. It is so worth it. Like, I'm so grateful that we are privileged and we get the opportunity to be building what we're building. And I'm so thankful for all of the incredible people who have come along the way, along that journey, some who have come and gone. I am so grateful to every single person, whether you've worked and volunteered for 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second, 2 days, 3 days, 30 days, however way you've impacted this mission. I would genuinely want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. So guys, this is what is happening. We are going to be sending out information on Monday regarding the workshop. So everyone is going to be able to see the full workshop page on Monday. That is going live on Monday. We're also going to be sending out emails to every single person who's registered for them to get access to the workshop details so that they're ready and prepped for the workshop day. Guys, I feel like I've talked a lot about, my life, my shenanigans, what I'm up to. Like, let's actually get in and have some fun and look at the threat landscape and see what is happening. So everyone kind of know by now that I like using one thing I wanted to show, for those who are not already aware, we have actually launched the the Hck4G Con page. So this page will tell you a lot about the conference day, what we're going to be doing, the event program. You can see that here, what is happening. So there's going to be a more detailed page with all of this key information in there for you guys to know what is happening in detail. And then you can also see all of the incredible expert panelists, cybersecurity hackers, defenders, business leaders, innovators that are going to be speaking. So go through that. You can see we have also brought experts from other fields as well, right? So the issue of cybercrime is not just it's not just the cybersecurity stuff. We have X-Defend, ASD. Again, shout out to Emirates Sage. She's got Australian federal government security clearance. Well, not clearance, security background. So I'm not sure if she still has a clearance or not. So that's private information for her to deal with. I don't want to dox her. And we also have Vong Shang. We have Sandeep. Guys, this is the heavyweight. Right, we've got the amazing Daisy Wong. People, look at how awesome that is. We also have, people like, Kanik Skadeva. We have Jack Sessions, the almighty OG Jack Sessions, the cool dude. The mobile security alchemist. And we have, Sanam and Peter. We have some pretty incredible people. So guys, the list goes on. So if you have not already bought your ticket, please go and do so right now. There's a lot of incredible things happening on that day. Hey, by the way, we have our own cyber DJ, Daphne Bentenedis, who is going to be scratching the turntable on the day. And obviously Adriana Hendrick as well, who's going to be helping. And we are looking forward to an incredible event. So if you haven't already seen that, shout out to all of our sponsors, those who are sponsoring this event and making it happen. Without them, this would literally not be possible. So thank you. The list goes on. Thank you, every single one of these sponsors. All right, let's actually go, enough shameless plugs, Sammy. Come on, man. Guys, I do want to, I want to do something a little bit odd, a little bit weird. Let's Google a dad joke that we can say. Guys, I'm not funny when I have to Google a dad joke, right? Oh, jeez. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can find one. 2 guys walked into a bar. The third guy ducked. I have no idea what that means. How do you get a country's girl attention? Attract. That's funny. Why did the lobster blush? It saw the oceans bloom. True. What did Tennessee? This is very American, obviously. My boss told me to have a good day, so I went. That is very funny, guys. That is funny. Which seed has the most straits? Rhode Island. Oh, gee, that's funny. It takes guts to be an. Okay. It takes guts to be an organ donor. Yes. So I'm going to chuck all the links in here for everyone to see. The corn link as well. Oh, hang on. I said corn, not Von. There you go. So there we go. Guys, those are some really good dad jokes. I told you guys there was going to be something awesome. So what's Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one. Oh, dude, that is so funny. Run, Forrest, run. That is actually very funny. I like that last one because if you've seen Forrest Gump, you get it, all right? Shout out to Parade for putting together that joke. Guys, I have delivered on my promise, right? I told you guys there's going to be dad jokes. So I have delivered on that promise. All right, let's see what is going on out there, right? Talkback.sh. We might be able to look at only one thing today so we can dive into research and learning. All right, so what's coming over the hills? Monster FT. Ooh, that looks nice. What's that coming over the hill? Monster FTP remote code execution. CVE 2025-34299. Okay. Happy Friday, friends and others. So, guys, this was just released yesterday. We are glad. Sorry to hear that your week has been good/bad, and it's the week, but at least it's almost the weekend. What are we doing today, Mr. Fox? Today, in a tale that seems all too familiar at this point, we began as innocently as always to reproduce an end day, which is basically 0 day, in Monster FTP as part of our emerging threat rapid reaction process we enact across the Watchtower client base. Yet somehow we find ourselves saddled with the reality of discussing another 0 day. What on earth is Monster FTP? You might say. Monster FTP is a web-based FTP client that's let users manage and transfer files directly through a browser on remote servers with a minimum of 5,000 instances sitting on the internet. Wow. We say minimum because the default context path of MFTP has the likely unintended side effect of masking the exposure of this technology from generic internet wide scanners. With an external FTP server in hand, it's possible to connect to that server and browse its content through Monster FTP with the full suite of Web 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 .9 functionality available. Uploading, downloading, and modifying files in an ease and user-friendly interface. That is scary, guys. With a proud user base ranging from financial institutions, enterprise, and over-engineering individuals users. Monster FTP is an interesting target for threat actors, made only better by the fact that it's written in PHP. Oh, Lord, help me. Not the PHP. For the love of all things good, we know using PHP does not inherently make things insecure. We get it. Go sit in the middle of the highway. That can also be safe. It just depends. Just like PHP. What the end day, our journey began initially with a specific version of Monster FTP in the crosshair, so to speak, specifically Monster FTP 2.10.4. Those of you who live, breathe version numbers of enterprise use software, this version number likely has you fronting at the mouth. Frothing. The person who wrote this is very excited about writing it. For those, and it's making me hard to read it. For those that aren't, we will just tell you what the Rabbit already knows. This is not the latest version of Monster FTP, which at the time of our research was 2.11. So it's one full major update behind, published in July 2025. Wipe the fourth away and let us explain why we are looking at an older version. Well, our research shows that a significant portion of the internet is still not running the latest version. Surprise, surprise, right? And the powers that be had some random theories aside, Monster FTP has a fascinating history of vulnerabilities. Following a gut feeling of general unease, we started our endeavor by determining if previous vulnerabilities had been patched correctly. Looking through our favorite, shiniest CVE database, three vulnerabilities stood out. 3 vulnerabilities stood out, supposedly affecting 2.10.3. That's just one minor version before our target 10.4, right? Look at us, math. This guy is having so much fun. I kind of don't want to read this whole thing because we don't have a lot of time. But the interesting thing here I'm wanting to see is what actually happens. So interesting. Yeah, so I can see that they're basically trying to validate the integrity of the patch management system that Monster FTP has internally, and it seems pretty good so far. Nothing too crazy there. They're making some changes to the way they've written their codes. This file immediately stood out. It introduces a series of filtering functions applied across the application, including but not limited to explicit checks for path traversal and other input validation mechanisms. So again, there you go. They're putting some security checks in place to prevent anyone trying to directly traverse the application. There were also newly introduced functions to validate file path. So there you go. We won't list everything added, but rest assured, if it can be validated, a function has been added for it. These new filters and validation helpers were subsequently applied throughout the code base, wherever user input might be handled, and perhaps even in the places it's definitely not. All the telltale signs of precise remediation, right? They've done a good job. At first glance, we assume these additions might represent or at least relate to fixes for the vulnerabilities we have been discussing, including the remote code execution identified in this CVE here from 2022. Before we went any deeper into this code, we decided to do a quick sanity check by replaying our known correct reproducer for the server-side request forgery SSRF vulnerability for 2025 318725 against the latest release of 2.11. Surprisingly, shockingly, disappointingly, inevitably, it still worked, which raises a question we couldn't resist asking. Did the developers actually know where to patch the vulnerability? This is also the polite version of the question we originally asked. Or did they just guess? Perhaps they never received the YouTube video playlist. Perhaps it was actually just Taylor Swift's song. Interesting. I'm sure they have patched the vulnerability. What if they didn't, right? And this is one of the things, right, where no one really goes to check unless you're one of those really crazy security researchers that kind of want to go, you said you've patched the vulnerability. Did you really patch the vulnerability? And they basically just go in to sort of find out. So guys, if you are doing your OSCP or any of the offensive security exams, or if you're a system administrator who's wanting to keep the environment safe, the one thing you should probably be checking first of all is to see if your organization uses Monster FTP. And if they do, definitely go and patch. I'm sure they've got some recommendations here. So a really good report by labs.watchtower. Yep. Do they have any remediation here? So what we can't definitely confirm whether the above vulnerability is identified to CVE 2022. We can confidently state that this vulnerability has been patched as of version 2.11.3, right? So there was a new vulnerability, a new patch that was released in August. As of November 4, 2025, a new CVE has been assigned with an updated description, right? So they're saying that this has actually been patched. So if you do have any Monster FTP in your environment, or you can find it anywhere within your asset inventory, or if you don't know, go to Shodan and find out if any of your organization has that path. So you just need to search for this. I'm going to show you that on Shodan. Search for this on Shodan, and see if you can find that. If you do, or you can just search for Monster, right? So if you find any of that there, go ahead and make sure that you have the correct version so you can patch it. All right, guys. That's pretty much it with Threat Landscape today. I'm just going to quickly run through Bleeding Computers to see what's happening there so that you guys can obviously go and look it up on your own. For those who are obviously new to cybersecurity or perhaps are wanting to get into cyber, I absolutely 100% recommend you take your time every single week, even if it's not daily, at least weekly. go and review what is happening on the internet with regards to cybersecurity, because it's the best way to sort of keep yourself up to date, especially within cyber where things become obsolete very, very fast. Like you could be looking at a piece of software, and in literally 1 month, it's been put off under your feet, and there's a new thing or a new vulnerability or a new update or fix or feature that kind of it renders your knowledge old. So you definitely want to keep yourself up to date, look at things and see what is happening there. So Leak confirms Google Gemini 3.3 Pro and Nano Banner 2 could launch soon. So again, there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening here. Cool stuff. Shout out to Bleeding Computer. Yeah, there you go. So there's a cool stuff here. All right. Okay. So to the technical hands-on tool of the day that we're going to be working on. So guys, let's go straight to that. Research and learn, right? So that's what we're doing now. All right. So guys, like I said to you, I am just going to learn alongside every single one of you guys. So I hope you have your virtual machine ready to go so you can learn with me. And if you don't, definitely get it started now. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to do so whilst I get the the links and URLs for us to sort of play with out there. So there's a lot of really good tools we can use. We can use one from really good tutorial that we can use. We can use one from Akamai Cloud, which is obviously the owners of Linode. They actually bought Linode a while ago. Or you can use one from I think there's one from Cloudflare as well. I find Cloudflare documentation really good sometimes. So let's see if they have one. No, they don't have any Docker for this. Interesting. So this one looks like it may go a little bit deeper than we wanted it to go. So let's see it. So this is a different, obviously, application, but it kind of goes through the same thing. We'll take a look at a few options and then make a decision on what one to go with eventually. So guys, as I always recommend, obviously, like something like this, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your notes ready to go. So again, one thing I do recommend to people is there is 4 stages of note taking in cybersecurity. And this is something that we have available in all of our courses that tells you how to take notes in cybersecurity, right? So the first stage is definition. So you want to define the concept, preferably in your own terms, right? Don't just copy things and paste it. And then the second stage is, I call it rules of engagement or rules of sorry, that's not how you spell rules. Again, ignore me here, or syntax / semantics. Hang on, how do you spell semantics? Oh wait, it's not semantics, it's semantics. I'm pretty sure it's semantics. Well, I was spelling it wrong all along, so there we go. And then the next thing you want to have is images. Sorry, examples. So example usage / guide. And then the fourth thing is sample images. So the reason this is important when it comes to note taking in cybersecurity is that typically when you are in cybersecurity and you've worked in cybersecurity for years, or you're starting out in cybersecurity, you're going to find out very quickly that you're going to be writing a lot of notes. Now, this is important because there's no way you're going to be able to remember every single thing that is in cybersecurity. As you grow from being a SOC analyst, if that's your first job, or IT security analyst, or IT help desk guy, as you continue to grow in your knowledge and learn, what often happens is as you learn new things, your brain actually somehow structures information in an archive. Or again, I'm not a neuroscientist or any of that stuff, so please, I'm making no sense. But what I'm really trying to say is that your brain obviously prioritizes information to keep in your frontal lobe, and based on that, you might forget some things. And the whole idea of your note is that you want your note to be something that in less than 30 seconds, your brain can look at it and see it as a source of support and help. Because if your note is cumbersome, it's messy and crazy and has too much information, and if your note appears like you're trying to write a book, your brain is not going to see it as a source of truth. So if your brain is not seeing this as a source of truth and support, it's not going to get you to remember to go to your note. So you've basically just written note that you're never going to use. So why actually bother to write note in the first place? So when in doubt, keep it simple and follow this 4 recommended steps from CyLynk.com, right? Guys, this is what we teach to people on our platform, that people have to pay for, but you don't have to pay. I'm literally just showing you this right now. And I'm going to show you guys how to actually apply it, in an actual real environment. And obviously, please, I think Fail2Ban works for both Linux and Windows. Let me Google that. I've never used it in Linux. Alex, I'm pretty sure it'll work for both. Let's see. Because it works with SSH, so I'm sure it'll work for Windows. Okay. Oh, well, there is a win to ban. That's weird. Well, we're going to Reddit where all good things are found. Oh, yeah. So, yes, Alex, that's a good point. You could probably just use WSL, right? For it. So, there you go. So, yes, Fail2Ban typically is built for Linux environment. So, sorry, Alex. All right. Let me see. I think my VM, hang on, what happened to my VM? It probably might be better to use AWS for this rather than my VM. So let's use AWS for it. I'll go to EC2 instances. Guys, I know I'm not sharing this, so give me a second. That's because I'm trying to make sure I don't show other things. So I am starting the EC2 instance now. So that's my AWS environment with the EC2 instance. So we'll start this, and then we go into the page of it so we can see the IP address that it's giving us. So this is the IP that we've been given. Obviously, for those who have not played with AWS before, typically you can actually use something like security group to manage this, to sort of act like your Fail2Ban. The problem with that is it is often limited to IP address or port number. But with Fail2Ban, you can actually leave your SSH port open and be able to essentially sort of put in preventions against brute force attacks. So but basically, you can set it to say if someone tries to authenticate with the wrong password or wrong username 5 times in a row, within a certain period of time, to block the IP or blacklist the IP for a certain period of time as well. So that's something that Fail2Ban is really good at doing. So now that I've got my EC2 instance going, so let's actually test that we can actually log into this. So I'll get my PowerShell window open. Give me a second. So I'm going to be SSHing into this box using so if we go here, go into storage, security group. So we've got the security group there. Let's try to connect to it. So I'm going to be connecting to it using this. I've got a secret whatever pre-shared key, or sorry, the SSH private key that I'm going to be using to authenticate into it. But again, you don't have to use an SSH private key to authenticate into your EC2 instance. You can quite easily just use a password and username. All right, let me see. I think I've got it here. Give me a second, people. All right, so I've got my PowerShell instance going. So we're going to try to SSH into this. So get rid of that IP and then just copy this. Guys, if you're wondering how do I build an EC2 instance, it is literally so easy. So you just need to go to EC2 instances, just click on new and select an image. So I'm going to demonstrate that to show you guys that now. So launch, if you log onto your AWS environment, this is typically what you would find. It'll tell you how much you're spending and blah, 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 blah. You know, and then you need to come in here. It'll tell you how much you're spending. You can see, you know, how much I've spent the last month. And then you come in here, you just basically type in EC2 instance, right? And then right there, so you just click on that. It'll launch the EC2 instance window. And once that launches, you just click on view dashboard here or launch an instance. So for you, if you don't already have one, you literally just need to click on launch instance. And then it'll basically show you this. And then you need to give it a name. So what do you want to name your instance? So let's say NerdKnight. I'm not sure if it'll take a hash symbol. NerdKnight 64, that's the name of my instance. And then it's asking me what operating system do I want my instance to have, right? So you can either have Amazon Linux, which is pretty much, you know, a Linux, variation that Amazon is basically just built for their customers. I typically just go with Ubuntu because I understand what is hidden in the backend. You can also just have macOS running in the cloud as well for those who are macOS runners, lovers. You can also have Windows or Red Hat. The key thing to keep in mind is that in AWS, you cannot, well, I say this with great care and caution. You can have Windows Workstation in AWS, but you have to bring your ISO image. Typically, you cannot find an IAM image, which is Amazon machine image, AMI image. You cannot find an AMI image in Amazon that is a workstation. For Windows, it is typically servers. So if you select this, you would see what happens here. It only lets me select Windows servers. Right. So that's essentially what happens here. So I don't want to use that. I just want to build a Linux, box. Now, the reason this is important is I find Linux operating systems, and EC2 instances a lot cheaper to run because once you launch this, it doesn't actually have a graphical user interface installed in it by default. So you're only basically looking at the core version of Linux, which is where you basically need to use, the command line to interact with it. So because you don't have all of that graphical user interface and heavy load, it means you don't require as much RAM to be able to run a normal VM, right? So in this case, what you just need to do is just click Ubuntu. Sorry, I think I just clicked Windows again. Did I? Guys, feel free to obviously ask any questions in the comment section if you have any. I figured I'm using AWS for this, and a lot of you guys might not have already played with AWS before. So like I said, this is literally all you have to do. And AWS actually gives you access to a free EC2 instance for your first year. It's not necessarily 100% free for the whole year. It is locked in for a number of hours. I think it's 800 hours or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But it's also capped, so it's called a T2 micro, and you only get 1 gig of RAM. But like I said, imagine if you're trying to run a Windows environment with 1 gig of RAM. It's not going to work. But if it's Linux, I'm not sure what's going on there. If it's Linux, you can literally just run Linux with 1 gig of RAM because you don't have all that heavy load and the bloat. All right, guys, taking a water break, and let's just watch this roll. Let's watch it cook. It's cooking, boy. It's cooking. Let it cook. Let it cook. Just waiting for this. I'm not sure what's happening now. Just refresh, just for the sake of it. because we don't have all day. We've only got. How is it already been an hour? Jeez, that's scary. So let's pick Ubuntu again. There you go. So we can see here, this Ubuntu is part of the free tier, and we can see, like I was saying, this AMI image gives us, it's a 64-bit operating system, and we can see that it gives us about 1 gig of RAM to play with. So here, if you see instance type, one CPU and 1 gig of memory, and you also are allowed to use 30 gig of storage. So for free, you can use up to 30 gigs of AWS. I think it's this is called EBS. I think, yes, EBS general storage. So you see, free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 gig of EBS general storage. So basically, guys, what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of this stuff that I've done so far is going to be 100% completely free if I launch this instance. Now you can also create a key pair. So guys, pay attention to this. When you create the key pair, this is essentially the SSH key that it creates for you that you can use to SSH into the box, so you don't have to use a password and username each time. Well, you still need a username. The username is going to be Ubuntu for Ubuntu, but that replaces the need for you to remember a password. You just need to save the SSH file and then pass that whenever you're trying to log in with it, and it'll automatically log you in. So I'll show you guys how that works. So yeah, this is how to create an EC2 instance. I'm not going to go ahead and create this because I don't want to, but if you remember what I told you guys, I think we've got this going. I'll just pull this out for a second so I don't have to review the good stuff. All right, so there we have it here. It's available. So that's the box we want to SSH into. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste that, and I'm going to basically press enter. So it's asking me, hey, do you want to save the fingerprint for this server? And I say yes. And voila, we are in. So we've gotten access into this box. The thing though is that by default, if you don't create a security group for this, it will basically allow anyone to be able to SSH into this box. Even if they don't have the private key or the public key in the public SSH file, they can still just try a bunch of random passwords, right? Which means even if they're not able to successfully brute force your server, imagine if you had like 3,000 people trying to brute force you at the same time. Guess what happens? It basically renders the server useless. And this is why SSH brute force is one of the most painful things that a lot of system administrators have to deal with on a given day. So what we're going to try to do is to install SSH Fail2Ban on this server so we can manage who and who cannot log in at any point in time. And we can test it out and see if we're going to get banned as well. So why not? Cool. All right, guys, do not forget to subscribe. If you've already been watching this up until now, you're still here, do not forget to subscribe so you can obviously be notified whenever we have something like this happening. All right, so I think, yeah, I'll close this. I think the documentation from Akamai Cloud is probably the most useful so far. So let's go ahead and start applying some of the guidelines that it's provided here. So Fail2Ban is an intrusion prevention framework written in Python that protects Linux systems and servers from brute force attacks. You can set up Fail2Ban to provide brute force protection for SSH on your server. This ensures that your server is secure from brute force attacks. It also allows you to monitor the strength of the attack, the strength of the attacks in regards to number of authentication attempts that are being made. So it also allows to see, is this a denier of service or a distributed denier of service. Brute force attacks can be extremely powerful and may result in thousands of failed authentication attempts per day. It is therefore vital to understand how to protect your server from the attacks and how to block IP addresses. Fail2Ban allows you to automate the process of blocking brute force attacks by limiting the number of failed authentication attempts a user can make before being blocked. This is extremely useful for servers that have user accounts that utilize password for remote authentication as opposed to SSH key pair authentication. Again, we are using key pair, so we don't need to worry too much about this, but I just want to show you guys how you could do this. So before we begin, this guy uses Ubuntu. Again, surprise, surprise, we already are using Ubuntu, right? But the commands are similar for other systems as well. So complete the guide here, the getting started guide. Follow the setup and secure a compute instance guide to create extent. Yeah. So there you go. I think we've already done all of this. So we already have an EC2 instance. So we're not using Linode for this. We're using AWS. So we're gonna skip all of that. But just to be safe, I'm gonna see what they're talking about. So I think this is probably just a yeah. There you go. This is basically a step to get you to launch a Linode instance. Yeah, create Linode, view your Linode in Cloud Manager, and connect to Linode so you can see SSH into it, perform system updates. There you go. Send OS, blah, 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 blah. Set time zone, right? Control time zone, Ubuntu Debian, DPK, reconfigure TZ data. We don't care about all of that stuff. So a lot of this stuff, we genuinely do not care. So if we want to find out what time zone our system is using, it's probably using time zone in the Indian Pacific Ocean, because I did set it there. Oh, it's using UTC at the moment. So there you go. We don't necessarily care too much about setting the time zone, but for the sake of it, why not? All right, let's see if we can figure out how to set a time zone here. Is time date control installed by default in Ubuntu? Let's find out. Guys, I'm intentionally copying and pasting this, but like I always recommend, definitely try your best to not have to type this. So what I would do is, rather than just run that, I'll grep for Melbourne and see if that gives me information that I'm looking for. There should be, the time zone should be Melbourne, Sydney, right? But let's see. Yeah, there you go. Melbourne, Australia. So we need to set that as the time zone. So how do you set it again? Yeah, so time control, time date control, set time zone to what? Yep. And there we go. So that should do it. Well, Ubuntu 1. I don't need a password for this. I shouldn't. Interesting. I don't want to change the user password. Let's see. User add NerdKnight. User add is one word. Permission denied. Try again. Sudo user add. Yep. And then sudo pass wd. NerdKnight. And the password should be, I don't know. Let's do NerdKnight as well. 1. Hopefully I remember it. One. Yep, there you go. So we just changed to that user called NerdKnight and try again. So let's get a bash shell. And there you go. Permission denied. Oh, that's because I'm in Ubuntu's home directory. So let's come back to my home directory. Yeah, there you go. So we've got the user ready to go. And let's do that again. This time that we know the user's password. So let's do time, date, control. Guys, in case you're struggling to see me, I'm probably going to make this bigger for you all, because guess what? I care about all of you. Hang on. There should be a way to do this. Interesting. It's not working, so I'm gonna have to zoom. Well, I guess the mouse works. Pardon me. So we've got the date time control, and then we have time zone, and then we need to chuck that into two single quotes. And we know our time zone is Australia, Melbourne. Did you mean set time zone? Yep. There you go. So we got the command wrong. Why can I not just authenticate as my current user? I don't want CTFD or Ubuntu. Is it because they're both in the sudo duo group? I guess. I'm going to exit from that and just give me a second. Let me note down this password that we just created so I don't forget it. Well, I don't think I'll forget it. So let's see. I think we might be having issues because we haven't added that user to. Again, we're kind of going on a tangent here, but that's all right. So let's see, what user did we just create? All right. So group name. All right. Group. There should be a group add. User mode tag sudo. Command. I don't want to use AI for this. There you go. Red Hat is better. All right. So the ACT sudo doers file sudoers pretty much by default dropped in file blah 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 directory specific which user use sudo. So if I wanted to, when a user enters a command blah 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 blah, what is the command I need? Username, yeah, blah blah blah. I want a one-liner, please. And it's to do the root to allow members of a group to execute commands. Okay. User mode, append, gwheel, username. Add users you want to grant sudo access into the administrative wheel group. So there should already be a group there called sudo. So let's see if there's an actual group here. ID. So we're part of a group called Ubuntu. So the Ubuntu group probably has sudo rights already. Yeah, because I think I can. Sudo tag L. Yeah, so I can run everything, no password, and I'm part of the Ubuntu group. So what I need to do here is basically add my user, the new user that I just created into that group. So sudo add user, yeah, we've done that already. Sudo user, add user, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, add user to sudo group, yeah. So we need to do this. User belongs to sudo group. This is doing it a bit differently. So maybe the question we should be asking is command to add user to group. Linux. I can't be bothered thinking about it right now because I know I do know it. So group name, groups, username. Just actual username. Yep. Add user. So there you go. Ah, there you go. Okay. All right. Perfect. That's fine. So that is the command for it. Go away. We don't need you. And then bring this here. So let's go sudo user mode tag a capital G. Sorry, small a capital G, I believe. And then Ubuntu. And the username is NerdKnight. I think we've got everything we need. So let's see. So if I do group NerdKnight now, let's see if it's part of that. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. NerdKnight. Yeah, so I'm part of the sudo the Ubuntu group. So if I do sudo tac l, yeah, there you go. Now I can run any command as with sudo. So guys, that's how you manage user accounts and add them to the right group. All right, so now we've got this user in the right group. Let's try modifying the time again. I literally, the whole reason we're doing this, guys, is literally because I do not want to touch the Ubuntu user because I've got an application running in there and I don't want to change the password because that could potentially kick us out of this server. So we want to do sudo NerdKnight. And once we drop into that shell, oh, hang on, that did not work. So NerdKnight spelling. All right, so it's giving us a basic shell. So let's do bin bash. We've got yeah. So there you go, guys. Now, not only do we now have access to the Ubuntu group, we can also essentially view the Ubuntu user home directory. And this is essentially why permission in Linux is super important, because just by being part of the group Ubuntu that the Ubuntu user is part of, I automatically inherited all the privileges that user kind of has, and it gives me access to view their home directory as well. All right, let's actually go back to our home directory. Let's see if fail2ban is going to force not fail2ban, if I don't know, time zone is going to force us to do that again. I think it was it time? What was the command again? Forgot. Yeah. Yep. Time, date, control. This wasn't what we came out to do today, but here we are, set time zone. That's because I'm stubborn and I want to make sure that I've got the right time zone. Let's try that again. Let's try one. And it's not letting me use that. Interesting. I don't want to use either of this. We're going to come back to that. I guess the good thing is that we've created a user that we can test fail2ban with, right? So let's go back here and exit from this shell. So we're back into Ubuntu home directory, and I don't want to change that. All right, so we know that we have all of that working, even though we have UTC time zone, not the biggest deal in the whole wide world. So the first things first, the first thing we need to do is to make sure that our environment is up to date. So for that, we need to do sudo apt update Now, the reason you need to do this is typically just to make sure that all the dependencies you're going to be downloading is up. Well, the forked version of all the dependencies you're going to be downloading or using are all up to date, so you don't use something that is out of date. It's just a good practice overall to have. Now, this can take some time depending on when last you ran it. But for me, I just ran this recently, so I don't think it should take a lot of time. Surprise, surprise, moment of truth, guys. So if you've just joined us, we are building Fail2Ban to protect SSH from brute force attacks. We've already talked about what Fail2Ban is and some of the incredible work that the team of developers who came up with it have done, and how they've single-handedly protected a lot of organizations from potential cyber attack. The cool thing that I did not know was that Fail2Ban is actually written in Python. Did not know that. All right, so let's go. Say yes, and that should basically, and there we go. 3% to go, guys. 3% to go. All right, and we are good to go. So I'll just clear my terminal so it looks nice and clean for us. So there you go. So this guide is written for a non-root user. Commands that require elevated privileges are prefixed with sudo. If you are not familiar with the sudo commands, yeah, we are familiar with that. So we've done that already. So now we need to do sudo apt-get install Fail2Ban. And that should do it. There we go, guys. If anyone is following along, please let me know if you're stuck. So this is basically downloading all the stuff that we need to be able to run this. So currently, blah, 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 rendering, I think. No user sessions are running. Outdated binaries. No services need to be restarted. So I think we're all good here. So it's already been installed. So after the installation is complete, you can begin configuring Fail2Ban to set up a jail for your SSH server. The Fail2Ban configuration files are located in etc Fail2Ban directory as shown in the output below. So there we go. So we can see everything in there. So Fail2Ban uses the default configuration in the jail.conf file. However, it is not recommended to use the default configuration file as they can be overwritten by a newer update to the Fail2Ban package. The preferred approach is to creating configuration for a particular service by creating new configuration files. So in there with the .local extension, right? So creating SSH jails with Fail2Ban. So all right, so begin by creating a new file. So let's do that. So sudo nano, and then we're going to create inside of that directory, and then Fail2Ban. And we're going to call it NerdKnight. .local. Remember, we need to name it local so that it uses it. And now you can explore the options that Fail2Ban provides to customize the security and blocking of the SSH service. Fail2Ban configuration options. So there we have here what logs to use, log path, enabled. So we want to see if it's enabled, true or false. With the information in the table above, you can create the Fail2Ban local configuration for the open SSH server, SSHD. Once you have entered the configuration option, the values used in this guide, examples are listed in the sample file below. So we can see here, enable, port SSH, filter SSHD, path, that, max, try, fail, find time, bandwidth, 3. Yeah. So we can literally just copy this, paste it into our file. And that should basically do a lot of that. Note, you can disable a Fail2Ban jail by setting the enable configuration to false. After you have specified the configuration option and the respective values, save the file and restart the Fail2Ban service with the following command. All right. After the restart the SSH server service, Fail2Ban uses this new configuration and the jail for the SSHD service is activated and running. You can now test this functionality by re-enabling password authentication in the OpenSSH configuration file. So let's see. So guys, we can see we're ignoring that IP, and we've got maximum try of 3. So guys, I'm going to give you the public IP address for this server to try to get you to actually try to SSH into it. And let's see if that works. Or I can just try it myself using the password. All right, so let's see. I'm going to save this. Yes, I want to save. And then now what we need to do is, before I actually restart that, I'm going to do something. I'm going to modify the SSH configuration. So what we're going to do is sudo etc. So basically by default, SSH disabled password-based authentication. So you need to re-enable this. That's essentially why we're doing this. .config .d? No, I don't think it's .d. Yeah, that's a directory. Oh, hang on. If I can actually type, that would be cool. All right. So let's see what line that is found. So we can see, we're going to see where it says permit root login. It says disabled. So we cannot SSH into this box using root. And it's listening on port 22. So we can also change this. So if we want to SSH to listen on a different port, we can do this. So one of the benefits of you doing that is really just security by obfuscation. So it's not necessarily security by any technical, sense, because anyone can still fingerprint your server to know SSH is running on that port. But it just helps in a long way, right? It just makes it possible for someone not just to be able to just use SSH to on port 22 to try to brute force you, right? If you change it to a random dynamic port, at least it just requires a bit more thought to someone attacking you. So that way you kind of remove yourself from all the script kiddies out there. But again, it definitely does not protect you from a sophisticated attack. It's just security by obfuscation. So interactive authentication, no. So is that what we're trying to do? Password authentication, yes. So that's let's find that. Let's keep finding it. Surely this should already be commented out. I know there's a way to do a search inside of Nano. Use spam. It says yes. So I think that's probably where we need to enter it. So you can also use something like Kerberos as well. That's cool. Max try is 10. Public authentication, yes. So let's chug that in here. Let's create it. So we'll change this to password. Oh, hang on, I don't want to replace that file, that line. So password. Authentication. Authentication. And we go yes. And then the other thing we want to do is permit empty password. No. No. So what I would do is, just to be safe, I'll save this and then grep for those things to see how many times they appear on the line. Yes. So I'll cat etc sshd underscore config. And then I'll grep for authentication. Actually, password is probably a better word. What is going on? ATC, SSH, SSHD, underscore config. I think I've got it right. And then pipe, grep, hang on. ATC, SSH, SSHD, underscore config. And that was why. Command not found. What do you mean? Is there something glaringly obvious I'm missing? So the file is inside of ATC, SSH, SSHD, underscore config. Or do I need to sudo this? I don't think so. Yeah, no. Is grep seeing this as a command? For real though? Hey, that's why. I see the problem. Go away. That should work now, guys. So I had the actual authentication before the grep. So, yep. Okay. Yes, it definitely does exist. So, we should probably just play with that one and not add a new one. So, what line is that in? How to get grep to tell us what line something exists in. I'm just gonna guess that it's TAC L. TAC N or TAC L. Whichever one of those it is. Oh, TAC N. So it's TAC N. So on line 66 is where we have it, and we added it to line 95. So we need to remove that. Okay. So guys, you remember what we need to do here. So we need to do sudo again, and we need to nano the file, and we need to go to etc SSH SSHD underscore config, and we need to go to, I think, insert I. There's a way to get nano to give you line numbers. No, it's not Ctrl C. Seriously, that shouldn't be that complicated. All right, then let's do this. So we just need to modify our command. What is going on here? So if we do tag count, maybe that will solve the problem that we needed to solve. No, it did not solve it. So we need, I want to say numbering. Apparently that might work. So don't worry. Set. Constant. I don't think that will work. Yeah, because this is actually typing right in the file. Not useful stack exchange thread. Or perhaps I'm not reading it well. That is what I would have expected actually. So I have no idea why that guy said a C. So I don't want to save any of that. Sorry guys, this is how learning works, right? It's messy. Now, another day when I do this again, I remember, there you go, that's exactly what we need. So we can jump to a specific line. So the content of my blah, blah, blah. And then if we do, so that works. So we know we need to go to line 60 something. Line 60. Yep, there you go. So that's what we need. So, and then permit empty password. No. So we didn't need to actually go and create our own. So that means we can delete these two lines that we added. Again, it's just doing best practice stuff, guys. Just doing best practice stuff. You know me. All right, now that we've got that going, now we can go back to Linode actually, and restart SSHD. Well, Fail2Ban first. Let's see. So sudo system control. Restart. Fail2Ban. I'll probably see what the status is on at the moment. I think it should technically be stopped at the moment. Oh, it is running and it's enabled. Interesting. I did not know that. So I guess by downloading it, then it basically started it too as well. And so let's end that and let's restart it. So guys, remember what is happening here is we created a fail file, and that fail file is essentially what we are wanting it to start using, and that basically blocks any authentication that happens 3 times in a row. So let's restart this. And now that we also went through that pain of creating a new user, it means we've technically got a user to test with at the moment. So testing, so let's try to SSH with a new PowerShell window. So let's put that out here. And then we're going to SSH to, the username is NerdKnight. And then the IP address we have is, oh no, please don't sign me out. Butter. Yeah, sign me out. I think I can probably find it here. Yeah, I have to log in. Give me a second, guys. Let me log on to AWS. Just waiting for that to load. Guys, whilst I'm waiting, definitely go ahead and join our Discord server. At both CyLynk Discord server and Hck4G Discord server. Obviously, you guys know that Hck4G is a not-for-profit organization that is fighting to disrupt cybercrime in underserved communities and untapped regions. And we also have, what is going on? Did someone kill the server? Why is it taking forever to load? Are we getting attacked? I'm going to ban someone. I'm literally going to block someone today. So if you go to the homepage and you click on that, Discord button, you can actually jump onto our Discord server so you can join a team or start one. I think you can also join a team by going to one of the teams. I'm not sure what's going on. There you go. That's working now. It's a little bit slow for my liking. And if I go in here, it's just slow. Maybe I'll have to take a look at the logs. Maybe someone is indeed attacking it. In which case, I am not going to be very happy, people. So we go to teams. And you can, once you've logged on, username, password, I think you should be able to join a team once you've actually logged on. So that's the thing. But if you're not able to join a team there, just go into our Discord server and go to the CTF information. I think there's a channel called Hck4G Con CTF support. If you go into that channel, you can also ask questions there on the CTF day. But if you want to join a team, go to CTF team information, and then in there just say, hey guys, I want to join a team, and someone will be able to, basically go, hey, I've created a team, join here, or help you out as well. So shout out to everyone who's obviously helped out a lot as well. I think we should be good to go now. So let's go ahead and start testing the thing. And obviously, if you do want to go to CyLynk SSH, sorry, I said SSH. If you do want to check out CyLynk Discord server, just go straight to CyLynk.com, CYLYNK. Guys, you know what sets us apart, what makes us different. And that is because we do job-ready skills, training, hands-on job-ready training. We're not just there for labs. We're not just there for gamification. Whilst we have all of those things, they're great, they're awesome, but that's not the main thing that sets our platform apart. Our platform, we have no choice but to deliver job-ready training, because people that are in underserved communities and untapped regions globally absolutely require us. They rely on us to deliver job-ready training, the kind of training that if you devote 1 year of your life learning, you can get out of that with something tangible that you can actually use to do the job on the job, and be a standard candidate for any job application that you do. So this is why it's counterlogical that we actually have other people's certifications on our platform. So you can literally just go and buy any of the certifications from CompTIA, Linux Professional Institute, Security Blue Team from our platform. The reason for that is because we genuinely care about the thing that's going to make you stand out. And if it is CompTIA certification that will do that, we have partnered with CompTIA to make sure that you actually have the kind of certification that business leaders and hiring managers are looking for. We've also partnered with Linux Professional Institute to do that as well. And also, of course, Security Blue Team. Incredible partners out there. All right, guys, enough shameless plug. Let's quickly try to SSH into that box whilst I quickly actually find out what the IP address of the box is. I think I might have a security group already enabled on that box, which would stop you guys from being able to SSH into it and get banned. But I'm going to disable that security group, or at least open it up so everyone can have fun with me. I hope you guys are ready to SSH with me. Where is it? MFA. God knows I don't like the MFA, but it's a necessary evil, especially because the internet is a crazy place these days. All right, I've got an MFA done. What else do you guys need from me? I need an IP address for this. Aha, we have an IP address finally. All right, guys, that's the IP. So, and again, we did not change the default SSH port, so we should be able to technically just log in with this user. And there we go. So we are getting a fingerprint, and hang on, permission denied, public key. I don't want a public key. Do I need to restart it? I don't think so. What is going on? The username should be NerdKnight. So let's find out what users we have here. Cat. Hang on. My connection has been reset. (166). All right, so we're back in. That works. So cat ATC WD. So our username is NerdKnight. That works. So why isn't it letting us SSH with that user? Do I need to literally specify what port number we want to use? Port 22? Well, apparently not. I'm just going to type this again just to make sure. Nerd, N-E-D, night. That's it. I'm pretty sure this is probably related to that SSH configuration file. For some reason, I'm pretty sure it is somehow related to it. History. I kind of don't want to look at my history file. Why isn't it seeing all the comments I've already entered? All right, let's double check this. Guys, we're almost done. We are almost done. Please hang it with me there. A tiny bit of time left. Claire, there you go. And we paste that. Get us in, please. So we're currently sitting at 28% memory and 14% disk usage. So we're good, bro. All right. So what I'll do again is I'll do a sudo nano and then etc ssh sshd underscore config. So this file, I think there's still something else we need to enable in here. Oh, my bad. We don't actually have SSH key generated for this user. That's probably why it's not working. So how about we leave here and just do a basic Google, right? Guys, this is essentially what I've been doing. I've intentionally been just doing research to show you guys how I typically would work. So how to enable a user to SSH. Allow user to SSH. Yep. So guys, this is literally what we do. Like, this is how you learn. Like, that's it. There's no secret formula to this. It's just learning how to do basic research, right? In this case, we can see user mode, blah, 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 blah. This is essentially where they're creating the user with home directory. M creates the home directory. We've already done that. Bin bash default login. That's fine. Again, we've already created the user, so too light. Configure SSH key login. So sudo password tag L, username. No, I don't want to prevent password login. I don't want to use SSH key. I want to use password-based authentication. All right. I do know that we do need to do this at the end of the day, right? So we need to do this. These two things. So let's go into that user's home directory. So SSH, NerdKnight. And I guess like 99.9% of like doing this sort of research is like, as you do it, you kind of know what works and what doesn't work, what you need and what you don't need at the end of the day. And like you see me looking at this and going, all right, I can see all of the stuff that is done. Like, it doesn't apply to us. So what we're doing is a little bit different. Come on, get me in. So obviously you can see like each time I have to type in bin bash. So to like kind of make that the default bash shell, clear that and go to home directory. To kind of do that so that it automatically has all of that good stuff. So if I go to home, And right, so I don't have a home directory. That's interesting. So how can we create one before then? So we can technically do all of this stuff here, like basically create a home directory for the user that we created because we did not add in the tag M and S, which create the home directory, and we did not add the S, which obviously gives the user a default bash shell to use or bash terminal. So I'm sure we could probably modify that without having to recreate the user all over again. And also what we then can do is to configure the SSH key, but we still want this user to be able to log in using password at the end of the day, right? So I don't want to use SSH keys to do that. I want to actually use a password to do it. Guys, I know this stream has been going on now for a little bit over an hour. Well, actually almost 2 hours. So I'm going to break this down into different sections and then people can watch it later. All right, let's see. Nano config D. All right, so let's do another research. How to create a home directory for a user in Linux. So we already have the user created, so we need to do it after. So cat for I in cat blah blah blah. User del. Oh, come on. I don't want to have to go through that. Like for real, we need to do that. All right then. So the quickest thing to probably do then is to delete the user and recreate the user again, just for the sake of it. So sudo user del NerdKnight. It's not that hard. So we've deleted the user. So let's cat etc again. Pass wd. So NerdKnight should be gone. Yep, it's gone. So now, let's create that user again. Clear our terminal. So sudo user add. And in this time, remember guys, we do want to create a home directory. So we need to do tag M and then tag S because we want to give it a default bash terminal. So it's been bash. So I think that's all we need. So let's go back here to follow this tutorial. Yep. And then the username we want to add. So in this case, we want NerdKnight. Hang on, double D. Thank you. Oh, come on, Sammy. Finger moment, all right? Perfect. So we've created the user. Now we need to give a user a password just to make things gel. So I do want the user to be able to log in, so I don't want to add in the tag L. And then the username is NerdKnight. And then we need to give it a password. All right, so that's good. So we've pretty much solved all of that problem. So we do need to set up SSH key for the user. So we need to sudo su. Do we really need to do that? I think su is kind of perfectly fine. Tag NerdKnight. Anyways, I kind of want to add that user to. Let's add that user to the user sudo user sudo a group. Tag user mode. Tag AG Ubuntu and then NerdKnight. Yeah, so now if I do groups NerdKnight, that should tell us that we are part of the Ubuntu group. All right, so at least we've basically inherited every single permission that user has. So now we can do sudo. Again, you don't technically need to do sudo su. I'm not necessarily sure the difference between them. You can just do su. and it will switch you to that user. Oh, I guess the difference is if you do sudo stu, it doesn't ask you for the password. Interesting. So now, guys, we've got a home directory. So let's see where we are. Yeah, so that there you go. That's how you basically create a home directory in Linux, where you create a user. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're trying to create a new user. You want to add that tag M. Like the tag S is definitely optional because that's you setting a default bash terminal. But in this case, we wanted to use bin bash, and you guys see me having to type that manually each time. Kind of makes it a little bit annoying. But anyways, we are almost done, guys. We're almost done. So what we need to do now, we need to create a directory here, the SSH directory. Make the tag P. So what does tag P do? So that's an interesting thing. So man, make the parents, no errors if existing, make parent directory as needed with their files mode unaffected by the tag M. So that's what that does. So why is he trying to do that? I don't know. But look, I've confirmed what I wanted to confirm, that it doesn't it's not going to impact what we want to do. So tag P. So in my home directory, we're already in the home directory. So I guess here we are. So, and then we need to change mode of that user. Sorry, of that file, 700. So I typically don't do it this way. I typically would basically use a different way to set permission on Linux. But basically what this does is that it means that this stands for, everyone else, and this is for group. And then this is for the current user. So what this means is that this user would have access to be able to read, write, and execute. So that's, I think it's, if I remember, it's 1/4. Was it? Let me remember again. I think in Linux, there are 3 numbers there. So I think the other one, it's 1, 3, and 3. Let me double check. Linux file permission numbers. Cheat sheet. So read, write, execute. So that means pretty much all the bits are turned on. So that's fine. I just want to know what numbers each one is represented by. Right, so there we go. So we have read is 4, and write and execute is 3. So read, write, and execute. So we have 1 to execute 1. Now, this is typically not how I kind of know it. So what number is assigned to each one of them? That's more what I'm trying to find out. Because I know there's typically a number assigned to each one of them to make things easier. And you can actually do, there you go. You can do basic math to add it up. So you can see 1 is assigned to execute, 2 is assigned to read, and then, and write, and then read is assigned to 4. So if you add all of this together, you technically give access to pretty much unfettered access to that person. So like I said to you guys, in this case, based on how Linux permission works, you have the, you have the user, the user's group, and then everyone else. So in this case, this user will have access to do that, and no one else will have access to this folder. That's really what we've just set here. I think I'll probably make a video specifically on Linux permissions because I find it quite interesting, and it's kind of something you need to know because a lot of the very well-known vulnerabilities in Linux often stems from bad permission management. So we've done that, and here we go. So now we need to touch authorize keys, create a copy. No, we need to generate a key. So where is it? And the user, create or copy the authorized keys. Yeah, so let's generate a key. So guys, this is the thing, right? Like that place doesn't quite tell me that I need to generate the key, but I know with experience that you can literally just copy an SSH key when it doesn't exist, right? So in this case, Ubuntu SSH keygen is the command I'm looking for, I believe. For a user. So there we go. So SSH. Hang on, let me see. I don't think I need to do. I don't think I need to do anything in terms of permission. Hang on. So this is different, a little bit different on Linux. Thanks so much, everyone who's kind of been here. It's pretty much turning into what is it? Into a mega nerd night. Jeez, seriously. So SSH keygen taxi. We don't necessarily want to use it for GitHub. We want a local SSH key. So why is everyone? I think SSH keygen should be fine. So guys, welcome to cybersecurity, where pretty much all you do is just, do research. All right. Dash keygen and enter file in which to save the key. NerdKnight ID to, yeah, that should be fine. I think that should be good. I don't want to freeze. I think we should have something in there now. So let's ls SSH. So there we go. We've got SSH. All right. I see you, Eternal Stranger. So we've just generated a key, and I think that was probably why that wasn't working when we tried to SSH into this box. So let's try again, and hopefully that works this time. Permission denied still. Interesting. All right. So what I need to do is, let's do some quick Googling again. How to ensure a user can SSH. No, that's not what I want. So perhaps there's a user allowing command here. So sudo etc sshd underscore config. Why do I need to enter password for NerdKnight? Sucks. Hang on. Well, it's not supposed to be. I'm part of a group. ID. Oh. Yeah, so I can see Ubuntu as part of the groups that I'm part of. So I should be able to sudo. Should be able to run that command. No issues. Let's go back to Ubuntu then to do this. I don't need a password for this, do I? No. I literally do not want to create a password for this user, to be honest. So if I exit from this, yeah, it takes me there. Okay, cool. That solves the problem. Clear. And so if we do sudo is that even a user? A group? I don't know. So let's see. But that's technically not my biggest worry right now. So let's do sudo nano -I. Guys, remember we did L to list numbers of line, and then we want to do etc sshd config. So what we want to see here is how do we ensure that this user actually has access? So password authentication, yes. Allow users. That's line 66, I believe. Yeah, so we've set this to enable. Why can't we still authenticate? Login. Permit login. Prohibit password. Maximum try. Use PAM. Subsystem. Yeah. So there's a config file here that it's including, but it should be pretty fine. Let's look through this. So replace SK with your username. Please mind the space. Intentional. Surely this shouldn't be a thing, to be honest. Okay. So let's try that. Line 66. Uh-oh. Oops. So allow users. So in this case, we just want one user. Ubuntu. And why did you say had a space? Interesting. And then NerdKnight. So that should work. Technically, you should be able to do. Mouse is gone. Mouse is gone. Hit the tab with no delimiter, I guess. All right, we have it. So that should do it. Hopefully, because we've done all the work. Now we're having to configure SSH. That wasn't part of the plan. Oh my goodness. So now the user has another numbers allowed to SSH into your server. So let's get allowed. I try SSH. I've tried that. Okay. So even though we've gone through this, it still doesn't let us play with it. So line 66, did I have users or user? Yeah, so I've got the right setting here. Allow users. Well, one thing I should do is allow SSH access to EC2 instance. That's one thing. Like, I suspect the security group, but I don't think the security group is the problem because I'm already SSHing into that box using a different user. So I'll just double check the security group just for the sake of it. So I've got SSH here. Yep. And I've got my IP address, so it doesn't have anything to do with a particular IP address. 32. So it should work. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to allow any IP and save the rule and try again. Like, I would be so mad if that was if that was a security group issue. Permission denied. Still driving me nuts. So the permission denied I'm getting, is that from my own computer or from the actual box? So we're gonna find out soon. SSH NerdKnight at so maybe this will change anything. So right, okay. So that's not what it is. All right. We're gonna have to test this one way or the other. And maybe I'll stop the stream. Yes, we are going deeper and deeper. It's getting there. Only a little bit of time left until we have a mega nerd night on our hands. So, guys, like, I'm showing you how I would solve problems. This is it. Ubuntu. Connect using SSH. It's 14 years ago. So go to blah blah sign in. You should see the list of keys. I don't want to use using password. I should probably specify with password. Yes, yes, yes. I know it's unsafe. SSH. I don't want private key. Thank you. I've already set that to yes. Oh, hang on. That's probably why. That's probably why. Password authentication, yes. Password authentication, yes. That's probably why. So you're just gonna kick me out. Like maybe we needed to restart SSH. That's what I'm thinking, people. No, still not. This is beginning to get on me. Sudo system control. Restart SSH d.service. I think SSH d.service. That's the name of it. System control list service. Jeez. List unit. Yeah. Unit tag files. That's interesting. So how about we do this and grab for SSH. Oh, right. So it's called SSH dot. So it doesn't have D dot service. There we go. In case if you guys are wondering what I did there, so it's basically I'm trying to restart SSH using system control because I'm not sure if that service or that command that I ran works. And for some reason, I did not know what the daemon is called. So typically what you can do is you can actually list out all the services that are, the files that are associated with system control. And if you basically grab the daemon that you're looking for, in this case, SSH, it gave me the actual file name, which is ssh.service. I remembered it as sshd.service, and that wasn't the case. So, well, still on the learning journey. So let's try SSH again. Guys, we've done everything humanly possible to make this work, but it's still not working. So let's go back to Stack Overflow. Authorized keys. Like, guys, how hard is it? The critical part is to modify sshd.config on the server and restart the SSH server. Usually, not it is SSHD, not SSH at least on Red Hat. To run before you run SSH restart. Don't accidentally lock yourself out by a typo in the config. Makes sense. Is it possible? Like, we've done literally everything, guys. Go away. We've done that. I don't want to log in as root. I've done all of that. It's driving me nuts. there is one possibility that I could do. So I could potentially SSH in here into that user's account, and to avoid having to do it with my own computer. And in this case, I can use the internal IP address, the internal virtual private cloud IP. Maybe that might give us what we want. So there we go. It's permission denied for that user. Hang on, just I've already got that. Oh, seriously. So let's try that again. Yes. So this is a trick that I use sometimes. Right. Now, this is something that I also teach as well on CyLynk.com, which is typically when you're doing a Google search, there's a lot of implicit bias that you're creating without knowing it. So the way you ask questions, the way your brain is thinking about the question, the problem, if you don't have a clearly defined problem statement, you could also quite easily make a mistake and miss a like a glaringly obvious answer to your question. And what I typically recommend, I'm going to also be building a course on this, is just simply type in the error that you have into a Google search without having to add your own specific details to it. And you can sort of see Google kind of tries to give you as much information as possible without you adding your own words into it. And that way, a lot of your implicit biases, a lot of your lack of knowledge on how to ask the right question can often be mitigated by doing this. So yeah. Yeah. So that's a good point. Sudo su attack NerdKnight. Attack LA. SSH. And cat the ID pub. File to actually see there's a public key in there. Yes, there is a public key. So exit. So that works. And clear. So change and use that. We've already done that. So that one wasn't very helpful. Well, I'm not sure that's going to make any difference, but let's do tag V to get verbose. Trying. Why is it trying private key? That's the problem. So it's debugging, debug. So what is it debugging? Yeah. I have no idea why it's trying to find a file. Well, let's see how to get SSH to prompt for password. In Windows, because it's very likely that this might be the problem that we're seeing. Command. That could be what the problem is. And I would literally feel a little bit dumb about it because it should automatically request for password. Because looking at that error message that I'm seeing there, it sounds like it's trying to authenticate, but doesn't know what user password to use. Keygen. Yep. All right. So I'm just going to humor myself for a second and type in the password so you guys can see, I guess. One. Yeah, still did not like it. So no more authentication method to try. Received. Remote protocol 2.0. That's NerdKnight. No such file. So host key. Why is it loading that? Algorithm, site file, search. I think I have that right. Typically, when you do this, it'll prompt you for password. It's not prompting for password. It's literally just saying no. Let me restart that that EC2 instance. Maybe that might help. Once I restart it, it's going to give me a new IP address, but who cares? Hopefully, it saves my stuff. Guys, like I've done literally everything possible to be done there, and it still wouldn't let me. Like I know, like AWS by default tries to avoid you trying to authenticate with password because that's insecure, right? It means you're like typing your password all over the place. So they would rather you authenticate using like a private key or your public key. So not sure why it's not working. So let's restart and see if that helps matter with what we're dealing with right here. If it doesn't, we are going to continue. I'll probably end the stream just to make sure that we're done. We don't stay here all day, but I'll continue to work on this to make sure it's done. But guys, just let's quick recap. This is literally just straightforward how to enable fail2ban. We've pretty much done all the stuff. The only thing that is pending now is actually just testing that what we've done works. Like it's literally not more than 3 commands. You run this command, this command here, it installed fail2ban for you. Here, enable. So here, this command. So for us, we want to install that here. So again, obviously, I've got a few definition here to do. So fail2ban is a Python-based Linux only tool that enables or facilitates the prevention of SSH brute force attacks against servers that are running the SSH server. So guys, like I said to you, so I've just defined this in my own terms. So I'm more likely to remember it and it's a lot easier. So the key thing also is like, are there key things to note? Well, there's something that I noticed there is that you need to create, fail configuration files. If I can spell English words, with a .local extension inside of etc fail2ban, and then whatever your file name is .local. All right, and must restart fail2ban after modifying or creating a new fail config file. So for our one, we just want to do so configuration snippet. Again, remember what I said, guys. This is really, really important to help you. So that next time when you then try to do something like this, you don't have to be stuck trying to figure out oh, what do I do? Where do I start? So we can literally just copy this and paste that into our notes. And next time, if I want to do fail2ban, I don't have to go to that website again. Paste with, there you go. So that's what we need. And then the other thing here I'll probably often ask is when you write your notes, just add in references. So that way, if for some reason you've gotten something wrong, you can always just refer back to, the resources that you used. So in our case, we use this. And we also use these resources quite a lot. The one here for creating and enabling SSH. So that's a good resource to keep. And we also use the resource for enabling password authentication in here as well. So I've got 3 resources that I've recorded, and that's typically how I would take notes. So next time, if let's say it's 2 months or 3 months after I've done this, and I come back to it, I'm like, what did I actually do? This allows me to sort of get back into the heat of it. Obviously, another thing I'll probably add in here once I solve this issue is something like a note, right? You can just add a note to yourself. And this is where you can then add in something like, AWS EC2 instances often, prevented from allowing password-based authentication, and this might create problems. Might be better doing on an on-prem environment. So guys, that's typically what I would do, and this is how I would take notes. And then obviously, if you want to take photos, you can take photos and add it in there as well. But look, this has been a bit like I literally did not plan to do a very long stream today. That is Obsidian. Yeah, I will have to double check that, Alex. Thank you so much for that. I'm not sure what's going on. Guys, obviously do not forget to subscribe to keep supporting the channel. That is literally the only way we grow and learn. I think everything should be done and ready to go. Hopefully fail2ban itself is not blocking me. That would be weird, but let's clean this up a little bit. A few things that we've opened up here. How to add user to Linux group. So we've learned a few things, guys. If you're keeping tabs, we've learned how to create a new user with a home directory, right? Even though we said how to learn fail2ban, and this is literally why a lot of the labs on our platform often tell you to go and do something, and then provide evidence of you doing it. The reason that's important is, imagine if there was a step-by-step guide in a perfect environment where there's nothing going wrong, right? Where the user has already been created for you, and you basically are just copying and pasting commands. A lot of the stuff that we've had to learn today just to be able to get fail2ban to work would have been missed. And this is the thing that people don't understand. This is the stuff that people don't pay attention to, is that when it comes to learning, that process of struggle, the process of not figuring things out, the process of not having everything worked out for you perfectly is super important for retention and for genuinely knowing what it is that you're talking about. So not only have we learned about fail2ban, we have configured fail2ban. We've also learned how to configure SSH. We've learned how to create SSH keys on an Ubuntu server. We've also learned how to create an EC2 instance. We've also learned how to create a user in Linux and then manipulate user groups, and also learned how to specify a default static bash terminal for the user, and many more. These are things that we've learned just literally for setting out to go learn fail2ban. We set out to learn Fail2Ban, but we've learned a million other, well, again, a million is exaggerated, but we've learned a ton of other things along the way. And this is typically what I call job-ready training. And this is what makes our platform, CyLynk.com, different from all the other platforms that give you, everything perfectly done, copy this, paste it, and then voila, you've learned Fail2Ban. The problem with that is you are not going to remember any of it. So guys, thank you so much for hanging around with me. I've got a crooked neck. If you guys have noticed today, I've been sort of, trying to creak it. And I think it's kind of visible on my neck as well. I have no idea. Maybe it's my sitting posture. I don't know. Like someone who's I don't know, like a workplace therapist or have no idea, occupational therapist, definitely reach out to me. And, if there's anything you're seeing with my posture, I want to know, right? But it's been absolutely amazing just learning alongside you guys. I have learned a lot. And with that, I think we're going to go to the market. We're going to actually, talk about a few things that you can do on our platform. So guys, look, I'm going to keep working on this to make sure once I fix it, I'm going to let everyone know, and I'll talk about it during next week's stream. But for now, we have been going for non-stop over 2 hours now. And yeah, it's only a matter of time before it becomes a bit crazy. But the note-taking app is Obsidian. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you have been here with me all along, just hanging out, just having fun, just chilling, I genuinely appreciate your time, and I want to thank you for it. I know it was a crazy one. I know it was a long one. But, guys, you have stuck with me all through this, and it's been awesome. Hopefully, you've learned something alongside me. But if you want to know how you can get involved or how you can be part of this movement of lifelong learners, go to CyLynk.com, CYLYNK. I'm going to show you guys how to do that right away. So you can actually either subscribe to our training platform, so you can just watch me teach you how to learn, right? What better thing to do on a Saturday night than to learn something new? Also, you can literally just join our Discord server by just clicking on the Discord link there, so you can join other cybersecurity professionals and both newcomers and veterans alike to receive some free mentorship. And just literally coming for the fun, for the dad joke. Our server is growing and it's getting better. I want to thank all of the people that have been making that happen. Shout out to some of the cool guys that have been doing a lot of memes, so thank you. Also, I think you already know by now that I am also the founder of Hck4G, a non-for-profit that is fighting to disrupt cybercrime in underserved communities and untapped regions globally. So if you want to get involved, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, like, comment, and also go to our website so you can join the Hck4G Discord server as well. It is happening, it is popping, it is getting exciting, guys. And this is just the beginning. So you can buy any of the certifications that I told you guys about. So if you're wanting to do your CompTIA certification, well, what better place to buy it than from CyLynk.com? If you buy a certification from us, you are actually giving a voice to people who often do not have a voice. So a portion of our profit goes to sponsor the non-for-profit that you guys know of, Hck4G. So your choice of purchasing and doing business with us is actually actively disrupting cybercrime. So I want to thank you. You know yourselves, you've all done an incredible job already. Also, you can also buy Linux Professional Institute certifications from us as well. Guys, including the security blue team's level 1 certification. Guys, see this. This is so good. You can literally just buy the certification from us, and we can also provide you the guidance that you need to be able to ensure that you pass. So we have an incredible team of cybersecurity mentors and coaches who are there to ensure that you succeed all the way, and they provide you with tips, guidance, and the well-needed accountability that you need to be able to succeed. So guys, register to join, to play the Hck4G CTF. And if you haven't bought your ticket, please go and buy your ticket now. Literally just Google Hck4G, guys, Hck4G, and you should see all the cool stuff that we're doing out there in the public. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for being such an incredible audience, for learning alongside me, for being patient with me while I figured out basic things as well. So this is obviously proof that there is no such thing as you are too old or too experienced to learn something new. Definitely keep learning. Do not let anything stop you, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. With that, peace, guys. I'll catch you soon.